Jai Atmeshwar, Samarpan Yog of the Himalayas, Part 1, Episode 25. When I woke up the next morning, I sat up and for some time I could not make out where I was and who I was with, in which ashram. Then, slowly I remembered that Gurudev had made me sit in the boat. I had reached the bank of the river Brahmaputra, and Sri Nath Baba had met me there and had brought me to his hut. Yes, so now I was in his hut. After some time, I came out and sat outside the hut. I looked around me and saw that there was a thick jungle in the vicinity. It was at a slightly higher level, like a hillock, and there was a thick jungle around. This place was right in the middle of the river Brahmaputra, and perhaps Gurudev lived alone on this island because no one else was seen there. After some time, I saw Gurudev returning from the river having bathed. I saw him and greeted him with folded hands. He told me to go and have my bath. I saw that my lungi, which is a long piece of cloth wrapped around the waist, had dried in the night, and my cloth bag and other clothes had also dried. I took the lungi, which served as my towel, and went to the river. The bank of the river was down below, though it was not very wide. There were big rocks nearby, and as a result, the flow of the water was a little slower. My boat was still tied up there. I looked at the boat with a great sense of kinship, for it had been with me during my journey. Then I bathed in the river Brahmaputra. I was beginning to realize why this river Brahmaputra is called a masculine river. Its expanse was as immense as the sea. I sat on a large rock for a while after my bath. I could see the effect of Gurudev's vibrations and energy on every tree and stone. I returned to the hut and Gurudev said, "Eat some fruit, etc., and we will talk later." I had some fruits and later Gurudev said, "My name is Sri Nath Baba. I have been doing penance here for several years. You are the first person to come here, and no one has been able to get here until today because I don't want anyone else here. That is why this whole island is not visible to anyone, and there is no question of anyone coming here. I have brought you here, and it was I who guided your boat and brought it here. There is a purpose in bringing you here." I very humbly told Gurudev, "I surrender myself before you at your feet. Please make use of my body in whatever way you can for your purpose. It is my great fortune that I have got a chance to help you in your work in whatever way you desire." He spoke very seriously and said, "Nature has its own cycle, and it is within this cycle that we are born, and within this cycle that we die. Every soul must respect this cycle, and I too wish to respect this cycle. I wish to give up my body, and it is my final wish that after I die, my last rites should take place at your hands. I wish that after I take Samadhi, you should torch my body with your hands so that I can attain liberation. It is the son's duty to cremate his father. I do not have a son, and I accept you in the form of my Manas Putra. That is, according to scriptures, the son born by wish and not by coition. I accept you in the form of my Manas Putra, and just as a son receives all his father's wealth, similarly, I too wish to hand over to you the legacy of all the knowledge that I have obtained. I was thunderstruck by this unbelievable talk. Expressing my fear, I said, "I have never performed cremation on anyone all by myself. I do not even know how the ceremony has to be performed." He said, "Do not worry about that. I will arrange all that. Did you know how to manage a boat? But you managed to reach here, didn't you? In the same way, I will assist you in my cremation." My Gurudev had also called me here in the same way, and after accepting me as his son, he asked me to cremate him. His purpose was to convey that knowledge to you. I am only a medium for my Guru. This area of inner knowledge is very vast. A single birth is not enough for it. It cannot be obtained in one birth. If one obtains it in one birth, then that can only happen with the Guru's grace. But it is one thing to acquire it through the Guru's grace, and to be a suitable candidate to obtain it is a very different state. Man is tied down in the bonds of his karma, and this feeling of karma is connected to his body. The Guru's nature is to keep on giving continuously. The Guru's nature is like this holy river Brahmaputra. It will give to whoever comes before it, just as the river will quench the thirst of whichever person comes to its shore. But the river will quench the thirst of the person regardless of whether he is a sage or an ascetic or a thief, because it has become its nature to quench the thirst of whoever comes to its shore. The river performs this duty free of charge and equally with everyone. These are two special qualities of Paramatma. He loves everyone equally and is equally compassionate towards everyone without any discrimination. Paramatma is available to everyone. If someone is ready to meet Paramatma, then Paramatma is also ready to meet him. Yes, Paramatma will love even an atheist who does not believe in him equally. There isn't even a little bit of deficiency in Paramatma's compassion. This is why believers live comfortably in Paramatma's world, and non-believers also live comfortably in his world. Both are the same for Paramatma. Thus, these are the two special qualities of Paramatma. One, that it is free of charge, and secondly, that it is equal. In this way, the Guru wipes out his existence in meditation and merges himself with nature. Thus, the special qualities of nature become a part of the Guru. He bestows knowledge free of charge and bestows it equally to everyone. He is exactly like this river. Now, just imagine that as a result of the good karma of his previous birth, some person gets the proximity of a guru, and then the guru bestows knowledge on him according to his nature. He will not see whether that person is suitable or not. Then it is up to this person to decide when he will take advantage of this knowledge. Inner knowledge is present within this person, but it is the personal affair of the individual whether to behave according to that inner knowledge or whether to believe in that inner knowledge. It is not necessary for you to behave according to inner knowledge in this birth. It is possible that a person may behave according to this inner knowledge in his next birth or in the birth after that, because the existence of I in every person is his personal affair. If you do not give up this I sense, the inner knowledge will not germinate. When it does not germinate at all, there is no question of the tree of inner knowledge rising. The feeling of I exists as a personal attachment in every physical body. The feeling of I is an illusion, but the soul realizes it only after it leaves the body. Nothing can be done after that because the body is left behind, and spiritual progress is not possible without the physical body. This means that a person will be able to achieve it only if he gives up the feelings and emotions connected to the physical body. Before he gives up the body, that is, before he dies. But this does not happen, and man keeps wandering for several births in spite of obtaining the proximity of a guru and after getting inner knowledge through the guru's grace. One has to make a study of the feelings and emotions of the physical body before one gives up the body. Only then can one give up the feelings of the body. This is similar to the example that the land receives a good quality seed through the grace of some tree. But it is the job of the land to decide when to germinate that seed. The seed keeps the possibility of a tree within itself, but the seed will not germinate as long as it does not give up its outer skin. The condition of the land determines when the seed should shed its outer skin. The tree gives the seed because of its nature to give, but it cannot make the seed grow into a tree. It is the seed which will have to transform itself into a tree, and the timing of this will be decided by the seed itself. In this matter, the tree cannot force the seed. In the case of inner knowledge, also, it is the same. To obtain inner knowledge and to behave according to it are two different things. Once the soul receives inner knowledge, then again it starts developing whenever it finds an appropriate atmosphere after taking another birth. The atmosphere and proximity around a person is either a good or bad conductor for it. It all depends on the proximity and when the atmosphere around it will be suitable. Who knows when this proximity in life will be available, and which birth and when it will be possible to accept that proximity positively. Nothing is predetermined. There are 7 energy centers in our body. The sadhak has to activate these centers, and it is possible to circulate the entire energy throughout the whole body only after that. Before explaining all these things, it is imperative to know the secret of human birth. There is a holy Atmalok, a place where souls reside, and all souls have come to the earth from there. The situation of this Atmalok is like a different earth, and all souls live there in collectivity. But it has its own limitations. Sometimes, when its grip on the collectivity weakens, then the soul leaves this place. And after leaving it, it realizes that there is nothing at all outside. It thinks, I came out unnecessarily because of my curiosity. But after leaving it, the collective energy ends. Then, based on its desires, the soul chooses a physical body. one can understand the capacity of a physical body for spiritual work from its composition and the state of the chakras. The soul knows how suitable that body is, and after realizing this, it takes on some physical body with the purpose of attaining liberation. Thus, the soul itself makes the choice of the body in which it wishes to be born. When the parents live together, then their aura is created according to their thoughts and their mental state. If they come close to each other only for their desires, then their aura will be of the physical level. If they have come closer with a soulful feeling, then it will be at the soul level. And if they have come close to each other in order to invite some spiritual pious soul, then that aura will be of a very high level. Thus, their aura affects their life together and conception takes place under its effect. The fetus will be formed at the level at which conception takes place, and a soul of that level will arrive in that body. This is the reason why the same parents may have two children, where one is good and the other is bad. This is the only reason why there is such a great difference between them. Then the soul takes birth through that body, and after taking birth, a lot depends on the kind of company it gets. Quite a lot also depends on that. It often happens that the soul forgets its purpose for taking birth after it has taken birth, and at the end of its life, when it leaves the body, it realizes the purpose of life. But by then, it is too late. At the time of each birth, the soul moves towards evolution. Evolution keeps taking place at all levels: material, physical, and mental levels. In the course of this evolution, the soul gets inner knowledge in some birth. To get the inner knowledge, to understand the inner knowledge, and to internalize it, all this takes place birth after birth. This is not an event which can take place in one birth. Man has to take several births for this. With every birth that man takes, one more energy gets connected to it. This energy is called Kundalini Shakti. This Shakti, this energy, carries the records of every birth that the soul takes. Its account is maintained. Then the soul evolves in every birth according to what is written in the records. The Kundalini Shakti enters the body in every birth with the soul and leaves the body at the time of death. This is the same Shakti, same energy with whose support the soul can progress spiritually. The body is a tool of the soul, and the soul is the tool of Kundalini. The body is a tool of the soul, and without it, the soul cannot obtain liberation. We may call the body a bag of flesh and bones, or we may attach less importance to the body. But the truth is that without this perishable body, obtaining liberation is impossible. It would be a mistake from any perspective to consider the human body to be less important. The body is the vehicle for every soul. Without the vehicle, we ourselves will extend the journey for several years. There are several dead spirits which have been wandering about for hundreds of years in the form of ghosts because they do not have a body. When they existed in the body, they did not make proper use of the body, and now they are wandering about without the body. If a saintly person with a physical body does not pray for their liberation, they will keep on wandering. And because you have come to me with the desire to get inner knowledge, the first lesson is that you should realize the importance of the physical body and understand the life of the body. The human life as such appears to be quite long, but man spends most of his lifetime sleeping, and he wastes the remaining time focused on useless things. He tries to understand everyone except himself, but he does not know that his life is running out with all this activity. Each and every moment of a man's life is important, but it is his nature to live with negativities. He should know how to live every moment positively. Quite a lot of time had passed, and we ended our discussion there. In the state of Assam, the river Brahmaputra has a lot of importance attached to it. Even in Assamese literature, references to this river can be found in poems and stories. Jai Atmeshwar. We'll conclude our book reading for today over here. Thank you for listening.